Ladies and gentlemen, to introduce the President of the United States, Congressman Tom Perriello.
Wow. Good evening. Good evening. I'm so glad a few of my friends could stop by this evening. In 2008, a senator from Illinois who was campaigning for president came to Martinsville, Virginia, a town with a great history, a difficult present, and a promising future. And he promised that he would always remember Martinsville. Well, the President and I have agreed on some issues and disagreed on others, but one thing is clear. I've made sure he never forgets about Martinsville, Danville, Farmville, Charlottesville, and the great potential of Central and Southside Virginia. The President of the United States, Barack Obama.
By fireflies, they're advertising in the skies for people like us.
Hello, Cavaliers! I was in the neighborhood and thought I'd stop by just to make sure you get out and vote on Tuesday for one of the best congressmen Virginia's ever had, Tom Perriello. I am here for one reason. I'm not here because Tom votes with me on every issue. Sometimes he disagrees with me. There are times where I know that his first allegiance is not to party labels. It's not to the Democratic Party. It's to the people of his district and the people of Virginia. The reason I am here is because in this day and age, let's face it, political courage is hard to come by. You know, the easiest thing to do, especially when you're a first-term congressman, the easiest thing to do is make your decisions based on the polls. You put your fingers up to the wind, you check which way the political wind is blowing before you cast every vote. That's how a lot of folks think they should do their jobs in Washington. And that's not who Tom is. He did not go to Washington. He didn't go to Washington to do what was easy, to do what was popular. He went to do what was right. Go, Tom, go! Go, Tom, go! Go, Tom, go! Go, Tom, go! Tom went to help make the tough decisions necessary to save this economy from a second depression. He went to fight for jobs in Virginia. And in the last 6 months, this district has seen the announcement of over 2,000 new jobs, including new clean energy jobs right here in this district. Tom went to Washington to make college more affordable for students and families. We got any students here today? The first bill Tom wrote was a $2,500 tuition tax credit that is now the law of the land, helping you. Tom went to Washington to take on the insurance companies and the credit card companies and the Wall Street banks to make sure they can't take advantage of his constituents or the American people. That's what Tom Perriello is about. So Tom Perriello went to Washington to do what's hard. He went to do what is right. And now the lobbyists and the special interests are going after him, and the question I have for you is, when somebody like this has your back, do you have his back? You know, we always say we want integrity from our elected officials. And you know what? This is a test case right here in Charlottesville. Because this man has integrity. And in 4 days, you have the chance to say, yes, we can. You know, for most of the last decade, middle-class families were hurting. And when Tom and I went to Washington, we both hoped that Republicans and Democrats would take some time to put politics aside, because we had a once-in-a-generation challenge. It's up to you to remember this election is a choice between the policies that got us into this mess and the policies that are getting us out of this mess. The same agenda that turned a record surplus into a record deficit. The same agenda that allowed Wall Street to run wild. The same agenda that nearly destroyed our economy. Now, look, this is not as if we have not tried their agenda. Charlottesville, we tried it for 8 years. It didn't work. And so I bring all this up not because I want to re-argue the past. I just don't want to relive the past. We've been through it before. We're not going back there. We're not going back. And we know that government doesn't have all the answers to our problems. And we believe government should be lean and it should be efficient. And we believe that job growth is going to come from the private sector, and that each of us have responsibilities to take individual initiative to make it. We believe in hard work and responsibility, but we also believe in a country that invests in its future, that invests in its children, that helps workers get retrained, where we look after one another, where we say, I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper. That's the America we love. That's the America we believe in. That's the choice in this election. We believe in an America that invests in its future and its people, an America that's built to compete in the 21st century. We know the jobs and businesses of tomorrow will end up in the countries with the most educated workforce, the best infrastructure, the strongest commitment to research and technology. I want that nation to be the United States of America. Tom wants that nation to be the U.S. of A. We see in America where we invest in homegrown innovation and ingenuity, where we export more goods so we create more jobs here at home, where we make it easier to start a business or patent an invention. We don't want to keep giving tax breaks to companies that ship jobs overseas. We want to give tax breaks to companies that are investing right here in Charlottesville, right here in Virginia, to small businesses and American manufacturers and clean energy companies. I don't want solar panels and wind turbines and electric cars made in Europe or made in Asia. I want them made here in the United States of America with American workers. That's why Tom and I refuse to think it makes sense to pay for a $700 billion tax cut for millionaires and billionaires and then cut education by 20% to pay for it. Let me tell you, China's not cutting education. South Korea is not cutting its education spending. India is not cutting education spending. Germany is not cutting education spending. Those countries aren't playing for second place. And neither does the United States of America. We play for first place. That's why, thanks to Tom, tens of billions of dollars in taxpayer subsidies that used to go to the big banks are now going where they should, to you, to students, to help support your college education. That's why we want to make permanent the college tax credit that Tom Perriello fought for, a tax credit worth $10,000 of tuition relief for each student. That is the choice in this election. That is the America that we believe in. We see an America where corporations live up to their responsibilities, to treat consumers fairly, to play by the same rules as everybody else. That's why we made sure insurance companies can't jack up your premiums for no reason or deny you coverage because you're sick. That's why we made sure credit card companies can't hit you with hidden fees and penalties. That's why we made sure taxpayers never again are on the hook for the irresponsibility of Wall Street. We see an America where we don't pass on a mountain of debt to the next generation, and we will attack the trillion-dollar deficit that I inherited when I took office, but we will do it in a responsible way, not by cutting education. We won't do it by putting the burden on our children or our seniors or our veterans or our middle-class families. We won't do it by borrowing another $700 billion to give tax cuts to folks who don't need them and weren't even asking for them. We'll do it by asking for shared sacrifice from all Americans. That's how we do things in America. That's the choice in this election. And think of everything our forebears went through for us to be here tonight. Those who braved oceans because they emigrated. Those who fought slavery. Those who made sure women had the right to vote. Those who made sure the workers had the right to organize. Imagine if they had given in to cynicism. If they had said, oh, this is too hard. Oh, we're being attacked. Oh, there are negative ads being run against us. Oh, this is taking too long. Oh, somebody's filibustering. They could have given up. They went through much tougher fights than we went through. They got beat up a lot. They got beat up literally. But they kept on going. They kept on dreaming. They kept on believing. They kept on pushing, even in the face of difficulty, even in the face of uncertainty. They understood that they had to do what was necessary. And that's what brought us through war. And that's what brought us through depression. And that's what got us civil rights. And that's what got us women's rights. And that's what got us workers' rights. And that's what made this the greatest country on earth. That's the spirit we need today. That's the journey that put me in the White House. That's what sent Tom Perriello to Congress. That is what we have to sustain. It's that realization that in the United States of America, anything is possible if we're willing to work for it, if we are willing to fight for it and believe in it. So I need you guys to keep on fighting. Tom needs you to keep on believing. In these last 4 days, I need you to knock on doors and make phone calls and talk to your neighbors and vote. Because if you're willing to step up to the plate, we won't just win this election. We won't just send Tom back to Congress, but we will rebuild this middle class, and we will put people back to work, and we will reclaim the American dream for future generations. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.